Imagine if you could wind back the clock and listen to what languages sound like 1,000 or even 5,000 years ago. What if I told you you actually kind of could? Linguists have techniques that we use to reconstruct what older forms of a language probably sounded like. We do this by comparing the vocabulary of multiple related languages to see what types of sound changes occurred in some of the languages but not others. Then we can undo those sound changes and reconstruct what the language was like at an earlier period. And then we repeat that process. This is called the comparative method in linguistics. And when we apply the comparative method, we reconstruct what's called a proto-language, which is the common ancestor language from which all the languages in a family descend. So for example, all the languages of the Indo-European language family, which includes English and Hindi and Irish and Greek and hundreds of others, all descend from a single proto-language called Proto-Indo-European, which was spoken between 4,500 to 8,000 years ago. So how accurate are these reconstructions? Well, when we apply the comparative method to modern Romance languages like Italian and French, we reconstruct something that looks a lot like Latin, which is the language from which all the Romance languages descend. And since we have written records of Latin, we know how accurate the reconstruction is. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Still, the farther back in time we try and reconstruct, the less accurate the reconstructions tend to become. Nonetheless, it's still pretty cool that we can get a decent idea of what these languages sounded like thousands of years ago.